We're live. Hello. My name is Josh, and I'm from Aqua, mate. And Blake's name is Blake. He's from Blake's Aquatics. And Dr. Black, we don't know his real name, but we are here to find out if Dr. Black's a robot. Did you realize that was the name of the stream, Dr. Black?
What was the name of the stream? Is Dr. Black really a robot? I've only just now seen that.
Something went wrong with the CPU there. You haven't scanned the chat first or the title.
Oh, God.
How do we confirm this? How do we investigate this effectively?
There you go. Absolutely on point. You are a robot. GRP Aquatics. 30-minute reminder received. Thank you. I love it when you put this in because I'm always like, I don't know if it goes out or not. Jill, Green Terror Keeper. How's she cutting? Newfound saying for how's it going? Blake's Aquatics is here. That's good to see. Chevy Fish, how are you? Benny's Aquatics. Lefty, how you going? Muppet 929. Pegasus Arena, hello. I like red plants. Me too. Science Girl Aquatics, how are you? Jesse HC Aqua. Pugamus Maximus. I am forever sorry for banning you in one of my chat. Last 2 weeks ago, I went for a big walk and took you all along with me. And my phone was like freezing. I couldn't see the chat. And then all of a sudden, I just see Candy sending a message going, "You've just put Pugamus Maximus in timeout." Griffin Fishroom, how are you? Fishroom Fever, how are you? Hashtag Mrs. Fever. I was getting a whole bunch. My mum was here, so I was cooking breakfast and everything. So I didn't get to pop in and say hello. Sand Creek Aquatics 2. Amy, how are you? Priscilla, GRB again. Dan, new member. Thank you. Appreciate that.
Priscilla is also a new member, Aquamate.
I just saw that too. Thank you, Priscilla. I appreciate it. Gina French, Zen Ginger, Cody Sun. Am I getting towards the bottom here?
No, but you've got a pretty good crowd in. Pretty good crowd for the first 4 minutes.
My list over here says 0 people are here, so it could just be. Oh, no, now it's refreshed. 29. Hello, everybody. Chappie. I don't want to miss anybody. Mr. Fish, Sir, Cody Sun, Teresa Cookie, long time no see, Moonstone Aquatics, Galaz Fish Tanks, everyone from all over the world here. Cichlids 23, hello. Joe Coffee, Punchy Paints, Matty D. Getting towards the bottom here. Everyone's saying hello to everybody. And we've reached the bottom.
I'll just do a big hi, everybody. How are we?
Yeah. Likewise. Obviously, a lot of curiosity around Dr. Black's roboticness, robotique.
Exactly. Big J, Chattanooga Ed. You all know I like to say hello to each individual person when I see them. So I just used to always sit in chats and be like, oh, he said my name. Hello. So I always like to acknowledge everybody that's here. So thank you to the new members. Blake, how have you been? You haven't put out many videos this week, have you?
Yeah, every day.
Well, what's going on? I'm not getting the notifications.
What are you doing, mate? You got to ring that bell, hit subscribe, like. Patreon? No, I don't have a Patreon. Yeah, still cranking out daily videos. The pressure was on it this time last week because I ran out of days. Like I ran out of videos that I was ahead. So, last few days I've pumped out 2 per day. So, yeah, I'm back to normal now. So, yeah, things are going well. I built my first like DIY aquarium rack the other day, but apparently I can't use a tape measure because it was that much too narrow. But I don't know if the camera will pick it up. But I'm covered in sawdust again because it's a good excuse to build another one. So I'm going to build one the right size now. And
such a pain.
The benefit of being a robot is you don't even need a tape measure.
Yeah, true. Laser vision.
Such a pain in the ass to be 2 centimeters out. If you were 2 centimeters the other way, you'd be like, oh, it fits.
Yeah.
But just doesn't fit.
It didn't make the edit, but originally I was 90 centimeters too wide. So the tanks would have sat on the cross braces. That's because I also can't use a tape measure, and I didn't factor in the width of the long pieces. So because they're 45 centimeters wide, 2 of those. Anyway, so I had to like take it all apart, cut all the braces shorter, and then I didn't even think about the other ones. So
a saw blade can take off 1 inch in total. Joseph, how are you? Bugamus Maximus, does that blue light cause algae on the tank next to it? I wouldn't have thought of that.
Me, that one.
Yeah. Well, you've got you've got the salt water, and then you've got the crab tank next to it.
Yeah. But things has already changed. So the crab tank now is down because I have these. Well, you were there. I bought these 3 cube tanks that was nested together.
Yes.
The crab tank is the smaller one, and I figured out I can fit 2 of them and another tank that I had on the bottom, and then the medium-sized one next to the saltwater tank. So, but if you mean the 4-foot tank, maybe nah, it doesn't. It's the saturation is a little bit up, so it's not that extreme, to be honest. Yeah.
No, fair enough. Are we able to ask questions? I've got a problem with the new pump in bathtub. There's heaps of bubbles on top surface and seems to be building. Tested waters, and that's all fine. No, you cannot ask that at all, Nathan.
Yeah, false. Have a look at your food. Maybe it's too oily or too proteiny.
Or look inside your filter. Maybe your filter media is heavily oxygenating your water.
What are we going to do with you, Blake? Well, I'm just going to go ahead and say that it was all a plan, because then I had to say to the missus, got to build another one now. Soz. So yeah, that's it. But I'm super happy that I gave it a shot, and I think anybody can give it a shot. I'm not handy by any means, but it's given me a lot of sort of confidence moving into my next fish room that I eventually build, that I'll be able to do all of the stuff myself, and it'll look a lot more consistent. So I'm pretty excited about it, to be honest.
So, Dr. Black, how have you been?
Yeah, I've been all right. Pretty good, I guess.
That's good. When did the rumors start that you were a robot?
Well, that was going to be my lead-in question. Where is this all coming from? Where did it originate? And why?
I don't know. But if you speak like you spoke before, I think there's enough evidence to suggest that there is a bit of a I can't even remember, R2-D2 about it.
Well, there's a theory getting around at the moment that if all of our future AI actually spoke like the old robots that we're used to here in science fiction and stuff, that people would have a better attitude towards AI. The fact that they are, so appropriating to the human personality, that I think that's the biggest thing that frightens people. But if our AI was really mechanical,
But then couldn't they just teach themselves to blend in a bit better and then go under the radar, evolve?
Well, see, that's the theory, is that's what Dr. Black has actually done. You don't get eyes like that when just from nature. So I think that's part of the reason.
I think the hair growth program is a bit too strong, though, because it wasn't that long ago you're fully shaven. Look at you now, you got the full coif happening.
Well, no, right? It's very hard to manage when it gets like this. I mean, I'm at the stage at the moment where I'm do I shave it all again, or being winter, do I let my winter coat grow out? I'm tempted. I'm very tempted. Dreadlocks by summer.
And has anybody seen Dr. Black leave comments on video saying, "Hey, let's be friends"? That's how you know that people are robots. I've found.
Hey, nice. Have a great hamburger day. And I don't think they're hairs. I think they're wires. So that's the other thing.
They're antenna to my home planet. So, planets.
Now, you had Scungy on your stream on Wednesday.
I did. We did a bit of an art auction.
Did you do an auction? I was about to say, when are you thinking of doing another one?
Yeah, we were thinking of it last week, and then we did it the week just gone.
Can't keep up with the weeks.
Answer your question quite simply. That's when we thought of it.
So what's new in the fish room or fish tanks for you?
My Festae have laid new eggs.
Yeah.
It's quite funny. I mean, I did probably go through this story briefly on my stream on Wednesday, but it was interesting because there was about 30 or 40 baby Festaes from the first batch left, and they were quite happily swimming around the tank and around the mouth of the breeding cave while the Festaes were laying eggs. And as soon as the batch of legs, not centipedes, fish, as soon as the eggs were finished being laid, the mother Festae just went into murder mode, and she just went around the tank and decimated all of the remaining babies from the previous lot.
So
That was really, really interesting behaviour to watch. I've not bred Festaes before. That was my first batch of babies, so potentially it is that thing that cichlids do improve their parenting skills as they get older or as they do it more. But
what do they do in the wild? So
well, in the wild, the babies have got enough space to get away and go and find their own place. But when they're confined to a 40 breeder, no choice but to get it.
The water's a bit more turbid as well. Another technical term.
Well, that's what I was thinking. I'm like, all right, so obviously in the wild, it's sort of that starts to happen. The babies go, I'm out of here. And then they fend for themselves. But obviously, we put them into a glass box. But why? I don't know. It's interesting how, for example, the Crebensis that I've bred over and over and over just got better and better at being parents. And then they were also right near the end. They weren't very good parent. One wasn't a very good parent, killing the female one. So, but it was weird. Like they'd have babies, they'd look after them for 2 or 3 days, they'd eat them, and then after a while, then they would have babies, and they'd look after them for ages. And I'm just, do they learn, or is it just as you said, getting to be better parents because of the situation they're in?
Well, Scungy and I had the discussion as well that in the adult Festie's mind, they must be completely torn because their main directive is to protect their babies, and they're protecting their babies from their babies. So, what thought processes go on in their heads? I mean, granted I am assigning human characteristics to a fish, but do they sit there and go, oh no, I can't eat my baby, but it might eat my baby?
Yeah,
they probably don't.
It's real tricky with the pistos because like the success rate with leaving at least the female in is so much higher because they have these little flags that they sort of direct around the cloud of babies and stuff. And when I've artificially raised them, it's been way more difficult than just leaving in at least the mum. But then, as soon as she sort of gets the itch again, that's game on. So you gotta walk the balance of leaving them in long enough for them to thrive, and then taking her out early enough for her not to do some damage.
Well, hopefully over the next like this one, a month was my sort of cutoff period to separate the parents and get the parents in this tank behind me. But it was like pretty much bang on that 1 month period that all of a sudden the parents were laying eggs again.
Just a couple of comments. Daniel keeping fish. I just got my freaking the chat just rolls as soon as you start reading. I just got my scungy art.
Not about that. Buggers.
Sorry.
I keep saying every stream I have, I'll email StreamYard at the end of this and get them to fix that chat shit. And I never do.
I just got my scungy art that I won at the last auction, shopping for a nice frame while watching the stream. Delighted with it. That's awesome. That's taken a while to get there.
Yeah, that's what Scungy said too, that it was quite a while ago that she sent that.
Daniel, I'm putting that comment up there. That's the best. A robot interpreting human behavior in fish We are in the future.
It's one of my core programmings.
Green Terror, it's my experience as the youngest child. Parents don't care what you do and leave you alone more than the first.
I
There you
agree.
go, maybe that's what they do.
I'm in the same boat as Jill there, and I agree.
Well, Blake, I did watch one of the videos at least that you put out this week because it inspired me to go and buy some CPDs, which I'm all excited about.
You did? Nice.
Yeah, I did. I actually went to get some long fin white clouds. So Blake did a video on how to breed CPDs using a breeder box. And I watched it and I was like, well, Monica Lynn sent me a box of stuff a couple months ago, and there was a perfectly good breeder box in there, pretty much exactly the same as Blake's, slightly different with the grill at the bottom. And I put my Harlequin Rasboras or Lamb Chop Rasboras in there, and I actually called Blake and I'm like, how do you set this thing up? Because there's all these pieces and I've thrown the manual out because I'm a male. And he helped me through it. But then we were looking at it and we're like, well, hang on. Those Rasboras aren't really egg scatterers. They lay eggs under large leaves. So it's probably not going to work. So we tried it overnight anyway. And yes, nothing really happened. And then I decided yesterday to go and get long fin white clouds. And I just picked the wrong fish. No, the only ones they had were very young, and I was like, well, this is going to take a while for this project to sort of happen. So thank you. You've inspired me to get the CPDs and test out that theory. So I put them straight in there, left them overnight, and now I've put them in the tank. We'll see if there's any eggs, but I'll probably have to give them a couple of weeks, I reckon, and try it again.
Yeah, awesome. I don't know if when you saw it, the comment was there or not, but one batch that I tried to do, they weren't going into the moss and stuff. They were just hanging around the other side. So all I did is just went and did this over that side and scared them into the moss. And then the next day there was eggs everywhere. So if you find that they're not casually going from one end to the other, just scare them into the moss.
Well, I've got it sort of a big clump in the middle. Should I put it off to the side? Should I?
Yeah, put it directly above the plastic grate thing. Do you have that in there? Or you've just got moss in there?
Oh, because mine goes all the way along.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Okay. Then I'd just do it like sort of flatten it out and do it across the whole thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Scott's Aquatics got the stickers. Thank you. No problem. I was speaking to Lefty the other day. So some of you might remember we had the Underwater Pet Expo and I got a signature from Paul Talbot for Thirsty Rabbit on the back of a sticker that is now in, where do you live, Lefty? The photo going, I think you sent me the wrong one. I'm like, oh no.
Oh no.
I told Thirsty. It's all right. I've got a way to make it up to him. So yeah.
You're going to fly to Sydney, get another signature, hand deliver it.
No, it would be totally easier to go to America and just get the sticker, wouldn't it? Here we go, Pegasus Arena. Does anyone know if Goldfish will use breeder boxes?
I don't know if there's a breeder box big enough.
Yeah, true.
Be honest.
Maybe a fish tank.
You mean that can you scare the babies into the breeder box and then they'll hang out in there?
Yeah, I guess so. For a short while anyway.
Mm.
I think the size of the breeder box is going to be your main thing.
Because goldfish, that's how they breed, isn't it? They go into plants and smash each other, for lack of a better term, because the male sort of is really aggressive, isn't he?
I thought goldfish would just like Oprah Winfrey giving out cards, just like egg, just flinging them out around everywhere.
I think primarily at the start of their breeding season, I'm on robot mode.
Yeah, you're right.
Wrong glitch in the Matrix.
Wrong software package.
At the start of their season, when they might not necessarily be just dropping eggs all over the place, that's when the males are most aggressive and they're chasing the females around and butting them with their head to try and knock eggs out. But yeah, once I think that season's well underway, I think the female are just dropping more eggs than poop.
You could make a DIY version from, I don't know where you are in the world, Pegasister, but you could get like a 5-gallon or a Kmart tank, drill it on both ends, and make your own like giant breeder box. I could potentially do that.
But yeah, I was going to head to where Dragonlair's gone, and any of your floating plants with decent root systems, like your water hyacinth or your water lettuce, or your Amazon frog bit, those kind of stuff, your red root floaters that provide a decent amount of dangly root stuff. That's the best bet for guaranteeing survival of your baby goldfish.
Yeah. Not goldfish, but a funny story about that. When I was helping Josh with the breeder box, we were just wandering around the fish room and stuff. And in my tank that I've got the bedders growing out. I noticed that one of them looks a bit weird, and it was actually a Medaka rice fish in there, like, because I've pulled the floating plants out of the rice fish tank to just give the bedders cover, and then there must have been a rice fish egg on there.
Bendigo Balaclava's here. Hello, Dad.
G'day, go.
Dan's Fish Room. Hello. I don't know what that means, but he's dancing his way into the to the chat. I think mine are trying to spawn, but I currently have green water and hard to see if anything has been laid. If anyone's got any questions about any fish keeping, hit us with it and see if 3 Aussies know what you're talking about. Mainly it'll be 2 Aussies and me just reading the questions.
Throw a crocodile in there.
Pretty much it does become, when goldfish are starting to breed, it does become very obvious, because your males will definitely be chasing your females around, and your females will have that look of terror on their face that all they want to do is get away.
And I've actually never kept
break.
I've never officially
look of terror.
kept goldfish, but doesn't the water get all foamy and stuff as well? I thought that was a thing.
With goldfish breeding?
Yeah. Thought it is with koi, I'm sure.
Yes, it will, depending on obviously water volume, because you've got jism to water volume ratios, technical terms.
Well, that's something we got here today.
The more reproductive juice to water ratio, I think, is when you get lots of your foaming. And when you're talking koi, such big fish have a heck of a lot of reproductive juicing stuff.
I do actually know that technical term. It's milt, I think.
Shh.
Don't female goldfish get headaches?
That's what they tell the male goldfish anyway.
That's the problem with a animal that doesn't have distinctive facial expressions nor vocalizations, is that they can't just make that pained, I've got a headache face, and then they can't say I've got a headache. So their only option really is just to run away and hope for the best.
Bugamus Maximus, I added a pot of dwarf hairgrass to a goldfish tank, and the females coated the base with eggs. It's a pot of dwarf hairgrass. Okay. I've got a Lodia in mine, and I had the 2 large goldfish. Unfortunately, I've lost one a little while ago, as most of you know. But I used to ask Blackie, I'd send him videos of the goldfish just harassing the black one harassing the white and gold one. Is it possible that the white and gold one was a male, and the black one was a male, and he was in heat, so he's just like, well, hang on, someone's got to be dropping eggs around here. Let's see what you're hiding in there.
Maybe the other one was a cuttlefish in disguise, and it was a pseudo male, or pseudo female, I should say.
Don't know. I used a lighting diffuser to separate them from the babies, but they eventually got eaten by mum. Yeah, I've got a bunch of endlers in with this large goldfish, and it almost looks a little bit like Jaws. There's just this big fish and these little fish at the top, and every now and then he goes up, just opens his mouth, and I'm like, did he eat one, or is he just... I don't know. But they're breeding. There's plenty more babies. There's heaps of Elodias, so there's heaps of places for them to hide, but yeah, they just seem like they could put anything in their mouth, don't they?
Yeah.
If it fits, they'll eat it.
So what is new in the next week? What's coming up on the stream, Dr. Black? Regular shenanigans?
I don't know yet. Got to. There'll be more Beast. Beast has been a interesting addition to my stream.
Yes, I had it on in the background while I was working. It was you guys talking about the coronavirus numbers in Victoria going up. Then I was like, what's happening? And then Googled it. I'm like, oh, yeah, we're starting to go backwards with this thing. But it also made sense that there were a lot of international travelers and they can only go to Melbourne or Sydney. So they could be trying to get to Perth or Queensland, but they have to fly into Melbourne.
Yeah.
And 20 of those cases were already in quarantine. So it's not like they were a risk to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How's your mob?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Game's off this week. So we had a Irish player test positive. So that's annoying.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think all the players who train. So they're training in groups of 8. So potentially 7 other players who trained with him might have it. But apparently he was in the asymptomatic phase, and the World Health Organization reckons that you can't transmit it whilst you're in the asymptomatic phase. Not sure though.
Okay.
Which, if that's the case, that's like huge, because that was the big fear around it, is people can just be wandering around spreading it without knowing that they are.
Well, if you're asymptomatic, you're not coughing and sneezing over everything, are you?
Yeah.
So you've still got. I think you've still got the potential to transmit it if you walk around licking handrails and staircases and stuff like that. But
yeah,
actually, if you're not aerating your particles out there, then.
But that's the thing. If you saw the footage of him at training, he's spitting and bushman blowing like over and over, and you're like, he's obviously got like a head cold and he's running around and he's getting clogged up or whatever. But you just go, man, he's spitting everywhere. Like, I'd be surprised if half of Tullamarine didn't catch it. But,
how is that asymptomatic then?
yeah, that's weird, isn't it?
But that's easy to chop up. Like, it was probably a 4-hour training session and they've got him spitting on the ground 5 times. Like, how often do you see footy players like fully lick their hands?
He spat in his hand and then grabbed the ball and then like,
shit.
Oh. Yeah, well, I think football's over this year. I don't want to talk about it anymore. My team have gone from being premiership favourites or second favourites to friggin' cellar dwellers, bottom of the ladder favourites all of a sudden.
But
graceful.
We may not be playing today, but we are still undefeated, just saying, including the preseason comp. That's pretty good.
Including preseason, yeah. That's right, you beat us, didn't you? Who did you lose to in the finals last year?
Don't remember. It's out of my mind. That was ancient history.
So what's coming up on your stream tomorrow? Yes.
Oh, yeah. Tomorrow we're playing the ranking game. If you haven't ever seen the ranking game, I'll show you it. We do something a little bit like this where we just have a chart. You know, we bring up a certain fish and then we go by popular demand and where it lands. So tomorrow we're doing oddball fish as requested. So it should be all.
Oddball species do you have?
Lefty sent me like 20 odds, so that's good. But yeah, that's, I guess the segue is it is all scheduled in. So if you want a particular one on the list, you can comment on the community post I put up and I'll get it on the list now. So that's in like 20 hours or 21 hours. So there is plenty of time to add to the list. So it should be fun. I always enjoy these ranking games. Yeah,
they are fun. I love the passion. Candy's probably my favorite in them because she gets so passionate about whether a fish is an F
Yeah.
or an S.
Yeah.
It's like, that's an F. And I'm like, whoa, what did they ever do to you? What's going on?
Yeah, you learn a lot about people. There's a certain demographic that are A or F, and there's also a certain demographic that are always a C, you know?
Yeah.
The people.
Yeah.
I like the ranking game. No, it is good. It's actually made me think, and while we've got 39 people here and your good selves, we never really have a topic for this stream. It's always just like a catch up and just have a bit of fun for an hour or so. I mean, we're already half an hour in, and like, you know, time flies. It's awesome to catch up. But is that something that people are getting bored of, or they like it? So let me know in the chat. Just say, you know, it'd be cool if you could talk about this or this, some ideas for, you know, the three of us. It's not always just us three. Sometimes the other Aussie guys jump in too. But I've just always sort of thought about it, because I set up in the morning and go, what are we going to talk about? And then we just end up catching up. And so far we've talked about, I'm not even going to say it. I can't even repeat what you said because I'll just lose it.
Also, Maddie, I didn't ignore your comment. I did read it. But for me, like, I feel like it's just easy enough to just make a new one, to be honest. I know it's probably not, but yeah, I've got all the plywood and stuff set up as well. So yeah, I'll just make another one.
Lefty's having a bad time with his tummy. All good. No problem. Bob the footballer Blake was talking about.
McKenna.
Yeah, Connor McKenna. He's got Bob. I'm not sure.
Ranking game rocks. Oh, thanks.
We are really entertaining, topic or not. Thank you.
Nice.
They're laughing at us. Not with us, at us. No.
You think these conversations are entertaining? You should tune into the 4-hour chats on a Thursday Arvo and stuff where all bets are off.
There's never any drinks involved in that either. That's good.
Nah, just red cordial occasionally.
Did you? My friend sent me a photo the other day of cotties in a can, sparkling cotties.
Oh,
Did you get that?
Nah.
Yeah. The world has gone mad. It's probably Dr. Black's cousin made it as a robot somewhere.
Like as in Cotty's cordial, or like a ready to drink in a can.
Yes, carbonated.
Yeah. But I guess my 2 cents on that is I like just having a chat. And I think it's refreshing. Like, I think it's good that there are streams that, you know, are very education based. There are streams that are very fun based. There are streams that are, you know, just looking at fish and not much talking at all. And it's good to have variety, you know?
Yeah. Well, it's good. Sometimes I go, you know, people like, we're now going to hang out over here and just say hey and get bored. I don't know. Yesterday I did an episode, a stream with Jagdeep Singh. So he won the inaugural Underwater Pet Expo Dimax aquascaping competition. So that was really good. And it's funny because he gets like different reactions to different topics and stuff. And you wonder sometimes, is it one, you know, something you should do more of, or if one is something you should do less of. So I suppose I feel like that a bit. But that was really good having a chat with him. I learned a little bit and a bit more about sort of the industry and the way that he's sort of come into the hobby and where he's at now. I didn't realize that he was a distributor for a few years there of a few brands. So yeah, it was good fun. And hopefully he sets up his aquascaping studio real soon, because I would love to visit that. Aquamate top breeding, what to breed next. I started shrimp and endless, but that doesn't really count. Lal, what would you all recommend for beginners?
Breed something decent. Breed angelfish. Something big.
I've never bred angelfish, but you've had a fair bit of success with that.
Yeah, I reckon they're fun. Or if you want to go beginners, just breed convicts. Breed 1 billion convicts. You can't go wrong.
Just put a 300-watt heater in the backyard in the pool and just keep them going.
Yeah.
And Bob said I missed some good guitar work on Fishy Fun's YouTube channel. Did a stream, seems not long ago. I did, Bob. But what I missed also Bob's comment regarding the Australian Mafia. Where does it go on? I've lost it now.
Dr. Black, thanks for your help. Aussie Mafia carries a lot of clout.
You're welcome. I can't quite recall what I helped with, unless it was our recent message back and forth, Bob. But yes, you're welcome. If I helped, I helped.
Pegasisters from North Dakota. Well, howdy. Did you say that in North Dakota?
Dakota. Don't they say Dakota? Oh, no, that's Minnesota.
Oh, God. I was really lucky. I got to go and do a fish room tour at Ugly Man Reefing's place.
Oh, you got there.
He is going to set up one epic saltwater tank. It looks fantastic. It's got the tank and the stand. But what really sort of blew me away there was the way that he's really good with all the technology in saltwater. So all the different systems, dosing, ADOs, all the setups that he had. How do you say it? Refugium?
Yeah.
Correct.
Just everything that he's got set up there blew me away. He has an ATO tank under his house, directly below where the new fish tank's going to be, to automatically top up from under the house. So it's not sitting next to the tank. It's not sitting under the tank. All it is, but in the cabinetry. And I'm just like, this is insane. So
saltwater people do that stuff so well. Like Sam as well. He's got these tubes going all the way through all of his walls, to get it all out of the way. And
yeah. And it looks just like a light switch on the wall, but it's actually an inlet for RO water. And you're like, what? So I am going to try and edit that today. It's one of those sort of things that, might end up going for like half an hour, but it's, there's not a lot of pretty editing and playing around with to do. It's just sit back and listen. So I'm hoping that I'll have that ready for when do I release the video? Tuesday morning or Monday night, Tuesday morning. As long as I can get it done today. But that's going to be fun. I'm looking forward to that.
Nice. Perth Cichlids in the house.
Ace, how are you? And I saw the Shrimpfluencer yesterday at H2O.
Oh, nice. 4,500 Insta followers now.
Yes, I saw that. Very impressive. I have been stuck on the same number for maybe a year. Just you get one and you lose one. You get one, you lose one.
On Instagram, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're not showing enough leg, mate.
If I show enough leg, I think the number will go.
I think Instagram's all about the curves, isn't it?
I got curves.
A little bit of side boob now and then. You're laughing.
I got nothing for that one.
No side boob.
No.
Amber, good timing. How are you?
Hello, Amber, Joseph, Maddie D, everyone else I've missed. I did just do a blanket greeting before. Now it feels like I'm just being impersonal, making filthy jokes with nothing to back it up with.
Pegasus Arena notes something here. So 12 likes, but mine says 37 likes. But I remember this from my Thursday stream. Josh, you were like 29 in here and 20 likes or something like that. And I finished this stream and it had 6 likes. So YouTube is doing something weird with the likes.
Interesting. Well, I mean, I'm just looking at the StreamYard, but for the first 5 minutes, it said no one was here. I only knew people were here because they were commenting.
Yeah.
Yesterday, I was talking to Jag Deep, and we showed off a lot of escapes too. So if you're interested I think Zen Ginger put a link to his channel, so definitely check him out. He's an amazing aquascaper. But yeah, I was playing around with all of that, and and I looked over and I'm like, oh yeah, 17 likes and a dislike. I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
okay, that's fine. And then a bit later, I looked at it and it was gone. And I was like, come on, Harry, let's go. And we went and played mini golf. Like, I watched your stream, Dad, and I'm like, oh, let me guess, you disliked it. He's like, yep. And then he's like, and I felt bad and I liked it again. I'm like, it's all my son is my biggest hater.
Well, he's been in here. That must be him. There was one and it's gone, so it must be him again. Hey, how's that? Thankfully, you get to bed on time, mate.
Oh God. People always go, when you know you've made it when you have haters. Like, I don't think it really counts if it's your son.
Streetwise, probably George Clooney, DiCaprio, one of them.
Brad Pitt, easy,
Yeah,
Brad Pitt.
absolutely.
You've got the jawline for it.
I always get called Zach Galifian now because thank you very much. He's the chap with the beard.
Know your role, Josh. Know your role.
This is our wolf pack. I can't remember the actual words. Who is Blake? I'm getting a Baywatch vibe for some reason.
No, he's
Oh,
Chris
maybe
Pratt.
I'm Hassel. Don't hassle the Hoff. Maybe that's me. I'll eat a burger drunk on my hotel room floor one night. Post it up.
I think you're Chris Pratt because you keep changing the shape of your face with your up and down weight fluctuations and all that.
Maybe
And
I'll take
obviously-
Chris Pratt. I mean, if the
Obviously.
alternative is Zach Galifianakis, I'll certainly take Chris Pratt.
God. All right, that's it. I'll see you all later.
Dragon Lair, your comment about shape. Yeah, I saw that one, but I didn't want to rub it in. Josh seemed to already be taking enough crap.
What? Who's bagging me? Something about shape?
Our Dragon Lair said, Josh is in shape. Round is the shape.
Thanks, Pat. Shut up. No. Bob just found a sheet of frozen bloodworms in my truck I bought 2 days ago. Yum. Oh, what does that smell like?
Just
That is
try
one
it.
of the that is one of the best things about the number of tanks I've got at the moment is I use up a full sheet every time because like when I had less, I used to use half and just leave it in and I'd always forget about it.
That's the only reason I don't like using it because I'll only use like a couple cubes and then you put it back, but the thing like the foil doesn't really stick back down properly and then it gets all slimy even though it's frozen and you go, what's going on?
There's this thing that they invented not long ago called a Ziploc bag.
Never heard of it.
Very, very handy for putting your broken foil packages into for the return to the freezer.
Yeah, that's robot talk again. That's
Just get a fish food freezer. That's all you need. In the
I got
fish
one.
food.
It's just over there.
Yeah, nice.
I do actually. It's the bar fridge for the beer, and then there's the freezer in there just for the fish food.
Nice.
I can because I'm the same shape, Josh. I know. We can stick together. Not so frozen then, Bob.
Just take it. Taste it, Bob.
I have fed 24-hour defrosted bloodworms. I wouldn't recommend it though, but there was no adverse effects.
I reckon if you're willing to eat one, then your fish can eat one as well. It's only fair.
It was winter time, so I figured they're probably pretty cold anyway.
Have you ever? So my neighbours, they'll come over every now and then, and their dog's just walking because I'm in my garage.
Wait a tick. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a new segment on the Aquamate show called Have You Ever?
Off you go.
Felt like this. Have strange things happened.
That lighthouse is near me. Fun fact.
I think
All
I
right,
drove
your neighbours come over.
Yeah, neighbours came over. They always bring the dog over, and then I'm feeding the fish. And the dogs just like stop when I opened a thing of algae wafers, and my neighbour's like, "Give it to him, feed it to him," and I was like, "I'm not here. You give it to him." The dogs go nuts for algae wafers.
Yeah.
What's the big deal?
I've fed my dog fish food before. I figured like it's mainly protein, fish meal.
There is an outtake in my I'm not sure if it was my video of my fish room tour of yours, but there's an outtake at the end that involves your neighbours and feeding the dogs your fish food. If you never got that far in the video,
Yes,
I think it was your fish room tour.
Yes.
Josh doesn't watch any YouTube videos. He just makes them.
It's so hard to keep up with everybody. You know what?
My dog likes fish food too. He loves it.
Yeah.
My YouTube watching patterns have gone upside down. I don't know. It seems when I get home, I can put it on the computer while I'm getting stuff sorted, and just try and watch whatever pops up in the notifications. But then for example, Harry started football, which is good. Kids are back out playing. Means all of a sudden Wednesday I'm not watching anything, and then then you go, oh, I'm going to try and catch up on the weekend. I will do that this afternoon. I'll put on some videos and like do chores, clean up, and then try and edit this ugly man's reefing video. Also, I don't know if anyone will have a link to Ugly Man's Reefing, but we're trying to entice him into putting some videos out. So if I can get it.
Whilst you do, people have been messaging me asking if everything's okay with you. They're like, oh, he hasn't replied and stuff. And I said, he's really busy at the moment, with the
me?
Yeah, end of financial year and stuff. So I said, don't be offended. He's just got a lot on at the moment.
You guys actually got to get your story straight before you go live. And who was it? Jesse saying bloodworms pop up in his Daphnia cultures and tubs. I got a bird bath that is a breeding ground for bloodworms as well.
Nice.
Apparently they're the larvae of some kind of little beetle.
Oh, really? I thought they were worms. Gnarly Fish Tanks, how are you? Nick, keeping fish simple, welcome. There's a link there for Ugly Man's Reefing, so jump over and subscribe and wait for him to put out some videos. Definitely very knowledgeable when it comes to technology in the fish room. And it'll encourage another Aussie to enter the fish tube world, which is always exciting. Yes, it's the end of financial year for me and Harry going back to playing football. I apologize. So I suppose that's part of it, like watching videos, but also everything's been thrown out of whack, and I apologize if I'm not getting back to anyone. I think I've got back to everybody. I'm trying to think who I've missed.
I'll tell you after. But anyway, doesn't matter.
Wasn't bloody that king of DIY guy trying to get onto me again, was it?
Yeah, it was him, Corey McElroy.
Sorry, who?
Corey McElroy.
Never heard of her.
I think he runs, Fish Coop or something.
Fish Coop. Yes, I know that one.
Yeah.
Fish Tank Coop, yeah?
Yeah, that's the one. A few other catch 'em all fishing, but I told him you're not interested.
No. I've been watching Red Aqua a bit as well. They're good.
Yeah, nice. There was some farmer bloke, which I don't know if he runs a fish farm or whatever. His name was George. He was interested.
George.
You always know George. That's a fake name. If someone says their name's George, you're like, all right, what is your real name?
Yeah.
I'm going to go and get a drink of water. I'll be back.
Why isn't Fishy Fun here? Because the other day on my stream, I was asked to message Fishy Fun to a particular messenger account. And I did so, and it was 3 days ago now, and I've got no sign that my message has been read and no reply. So Fishy Fun, if you're listening, please validate my existence. And g'day, GT, Streetwise, Amy, how are we? Jesse, don't know if I said g'day to you before. Scotty missed you before.
Overnight defrosted on the table. Yeah. Yeah, that's what I reckon, Bob. I mean, it is a sort of more of a closed ecosystem, I guess. But yeah, I was like, oh, it's too much of a waste. So, yeah.
Yeah, that was
calculate
solid.
the risk. What?
Yeah.
Well, that's an interesting point, Bob, about the carrion. But have we messed with their gut biome by keeping them in our environments that we make for them?
I know how that feels. Blackie Blake hasn't replied to me in 12 hours.
That's
Now
because you
you-
keep messaging me on Instagram, and I don't use Instagram. Facebook, people. Facebook.
Yeah, Messenger's easier.
Like, I'm not looking for people to slip into my DMs on Insta. Like, I'm a married man, you know?
Well, I was just going to say, depends on how much side boob they got on the plate.
Well, yeah. Nah, not
But, you know, clearly that's not a thing you're into. So we'll avoid that. Facebook it is.
Lefty knows this. You,
Rory Copter, not sure if it's been asked before. What is everyone's origin story of why they got into fish keeping? I personally stumbled upon the world aquascaping on Reddit, on a Reddit post, and have been hooked ever since. My dad had fish. He always told me about, I used to have fish and did this and did that and did that. And I was like, when am I going to get fish? So he's like, yeah, all right, let's get fish.
yeah. I just was walking into a pet shop to try and, I don't know why. We were just going to check out cats and dogs and then saw some neon tetras and I was like, I need them. Let's get them. And then this happened.
And then this happened. Also, I think one other thing was that my doctor, as a kid, that he had a big, probably wasn't anything special, but to me as a kid, it was amazing. Fish tank with, I assume they were cardinal tetras. And I was just like, it'd be like, come in, see what's wrong. And then I'd just be sitting there looking at the fish tank. He's like, so what's wrong? I'm like, huh? What are we doing? And my mum would go, I think there's something wrong with him. And
The doctor was like, no, there's more than one. Like, so yeah.
and the doctor would be like, what? What's wrong? It's like, he only eats cheeseburgers because I wouldn't eat anything else. And he'd do all these tests. And he'd be like, he's perfectly fine. If he's eating cheeseburgers, let him eat cheeseburgers.
He does have a 100% DNA match to the Hamburglar, which might be a bit of an alarm because he's a fictional character.
Next episode's going to be, is Aquamate a hamburger?
Oh, jeez. Not even a cheeseburger. Like, come on. Get a bit of...
I was only little. And
You're lactose intolerant as well, aren't you? So no wonder.
Yeah, hamburgers are only $1.50.
They
True.
were 50 cents. They had 50-cent cheeseburgers. And me and a mate went with $10, bought 20 cheeseburgers, and just sat in the food court for like 3 hours slowly eating them all.
G'day, fish keeping Jamaica. How are you, brother?
Hey, Riley. How are you? I would always take the pickle out and put it in the bin. It used to piss me off, the people that take the pickle out and throw it on the window. I don't want to see that when I'm eating. And then I married a pickle. And then a year ago, I started eating pickles. So it sort of was like, you know, it's a good place to start.
Pickle Josh, Pickle Josh. I'm Pickle Josh.
Watch out, Morty.
Oh, God. What's this end broadcast button do?
But yeah, then the problem was I got some platies as well. And then I needed another tank for all the babies. And then the tank that I got was a Gumtree job and it came full of guppies. And then I needed another tank for all the baby guppies. And then so on and so forth.
Snowball.
What about you, Dr. Black?
Well, I spent my first 3 or 4 years on the planet with a aquarium in the living room, I think. And then I think because I was exposed to them at such a young age, they were always entertaining to me, always found them intriguing. And then when I left home and went down to Sydney, and I started working in a second-hand shop, and I basically started picking up every fish tank that came through the shop and all the bits and pieces. And my little 2-bedroom unit in Sydney was, had about half a dozen fish tanks spread through it within no time. So it is like that. Once you get a taste for it and you actually enjoy it, it's very hard not to let it snowball.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I remember you telling me this story when you were down here that you got into fish keeping because you were a fan of The Little Mermaid and you were trying to breed your own mermaids. But that answer's good too.
Mainly it was Sebastian, the lobster. He really loves Under the Sea. It's one of his all-time bangers. You'll often see him with a little Bluetooth speaker. Under the sea.
That's always the first one that comes onto the car stereo when I hook my Bluetooth up. Under the Sea, straight into it.
It's so much better down where it's wetter.
Oh. Don't take me down that pathway.
Big Easy, hello. How are you? Yale's Corner. How are you? Haven't seen your name in here before. I'm gonna click on something and it's bring up your comment in a second. And Corrine Pet Central, how are you doing, Ryan?
And see you soon, DKF. Take care, brother. Crocodile.
Who's going?
DKF, new member. Good job stitching it up. Happy Father's Day.
Dan, good night. What time would it be over there?
3 a.m.
3 a.m. I must be alone. No more singing.
It is actually 3 a.m. He said that at 11:57.
Thanks, Dan. Yale's Corner. I was born on an island, and since I was little, I tried to catch some fish and place them in the container, and I'm fascinated with them since then. And this thing keeps scrolling back. I'm going to email StreamYard. So Yale's in the Philippines. Awesome. I'm fine, mate. Just been busy with work. No, it's good. Welcome. Glad to have you there. It's funny as well. Like, that's one of the things to do with the Aquamate experience is ask. That's the first question to ask. Where did it all begin? Because it fascinates me because everyone has different stories. And it amazes me how many people have been almost saved by the hobby as well. Like, they're doing things unhealthy or shouldn't be doing or whatever, and then it sort of centers them. And I think that's one thing that a lot of outsiders that don't really think about fish keeping probably don't understand and don't see that side. But when they do jump into it, it becomes a bit more than just putting a couple fish in some water.
Yeah. For me, it's like definitely keep my sanity because, I always kept busy studying and things like that. And then we had the kids and stuff. And it's kind of like a thing that you need to continue to learn and develop. And it's sort of replaced those, well, not the kids, but it replaced the studying side of things. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Happy Father's Day, Aquamate. Thank you. It's not Father's Day down here, but I'm assuming it is in Murica tomorrow?
No, it is in the UK.
Okay. When is Father's Day? September, isn't it?
Yeah, September the 3rd to 5th usually, whenever it's a Sunday.
And so my dad's birthday is just after Father's Day and my mum's birthday is just after Mother's Day.
6th of September this year. So there you go. Rumble's probably, riding a motorbike whilst driving an RC car, whilst smoking a brisket, whilst dropping a flower. I don't know.
Repairing a roof.
Yeah, that's right. Whilst vlogging about a deck.
Oh, God.
There's so many easier ways to go about remodeling a deck. He really took the tangential path to get there, didn't he?
Oh, so good. Where is the T-shirt from Rumble? They did this competition when? February? Yeah, end of Feb. The competition to win a T-shirt, and he still hasn't given it to Per Cichlids. Can't rumble.
Lift.
You're watching this replay.
You know he's going to blame the quarantine. I couldn't take the 10-minute walk to Jace's house to give it to him because the guy was quarantined.
Well, at least you've got a nice Aquamate t-shirt over there, Perth.
Nath Fishboy, the blue light's usually like a moonlight setting, but don't use it because you'll just grow algae.
That makes sense. I've been using the blue light a lot on the saltwater tank, and now I've got a hair algae problem. So water changes, nutrients, less light. But so that would mean that if I'm having more of a white light, less algae growth.
So Sam was trying to explain this to me, but it was a little bit over my head. So in freshwater, blue light grows algae because plants can't see blue light, but algae can. So it's literally only benefiting the algae. But in saltwater, it's the opposite. Something to do with corals and white light versus blue or something. I'm not really sure though about that side of things. But
Coral take
and
something from one of the lights, but not the other. So the algae then blooms because it's got.
Yeah, I'm not really sure. But also I was talking with Marcus, the reef nerd, at the Pet Expo, and I was explaining my situation. I was like, I got this light and blah blah blah. I got heaps of algae. He said just go turn off all the whites and put the blues on like 15% or something, and I did that. Seems a lot better, but still algae. But yeah.
Oh, my phone's ringing. I'll be back.
G'day, Bodgy.
Hey Bodgy, how you going, mate?
Oh, Cody, son. Don't think I said g'day to you either, Cody. Son.
I've missed a lot of people saying hello. Not ignoring you, but yeah, I just don't want to waste up the whole stream with all three of us saying hello to everyone. But
there's an echo.
Yeah. I'm never quite sure what to do with that. We have said sometimes we should talk about stream etiquette, but we just never have. But whether to type it in the chat hello or whether to say it, or who knows what's the protocol, you know?
Common courtesy.
Bob Kaler with the $1.99 thumbs up. Thanks, Bob.
Nice. Yeah, I think if someone's deep in a long run-on sentence, then yeah, it's sometimes a lot easier just to type something into the chat instead of waiting for that moment to dive in.
Yeah. Yeah, Streetwise, if I've got a programmable freshwater light, I keep pretty much everything quite high, like around the 80%, except for the blues, yeah, which is usually around 10. But it depends what light and all that, obviously. But
g'day, Chewy. Chewy's here. Chewy was being asked about before. Hope that answers your question, whoever was asking about Chewy.
Yeah, it's a bit of a welfare check, Chewy, so good to know that you're loved, I guess.
A welfare check. That's good. I like that. It's got a double meaning.
Yeah. Coral should be able to take in blue light because coralline algae coral thinks it's a massive symbiotic relationship. Right.
Yeah, I try not to run any blue light in fresh water. So much so that the one tank that I've got that is part white and blue light, it's a freshwater tank. I don't even turn that light on.
How is the sorry,
Huh?
I'll just throw a comment there about Sand Creek's streams. How is the race to 1,000 going for Sand Creek's channel? Did we get him there? Last I checked, it was around 600. Have a look. 596.
Yeah, well, that first run from the 300s up to the 500s happened pretty rapid. The rest might be a slightly slower crawl, but anyone who's not, jump on.
Yeah, if you don't know the story, I guess he sadly lost a very long fight, so he's no longer with us. But just as a general community, there's a push to get him to 1,000 subscribers, which was his dream. So it would be really nice if we could get him there. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Pugamus Maximus or Pugamus Maximus.
Pugamus.
Or just rip him out.
How is Sand Creek's Aquatics numbers going?
What did you say
I've
before
noticed.
about an Echo, Blake?
Yeah, exactly. Maybe if you're in attendance for your actual live streams, you would know.
Phone was ringing.
596.
It was Adam Simpson. He said, "Look, we appreciate your passion. You got more passion than these boys come up and play football."
We need you full forward.
Why? The ball doesn't get down there.
Salary cap maintenance mainly.
You can't afford me. You can't handle the truth. So this is where we're sort of now just going to... Do we even get on track? We're going to go off the rails anyway. Is anyone streaming after us or now that we... Oh, Bob, $2 super chat. Thank you. Super sticker. I don't get to see the super sticker in here, do I? Yeah, no one... We're not stepping on anyone's toes, are we? Because we're kind of just talking about...
Hello.
Oh, we're stepping on someone's toes.
Your super stickers show up here in StreamYard?
Yes, it does, but not the actual sticker.
Oh, right. Yeah, gotcha. Just a little note for it. I see what you mean.
Thank you, Bob.
So was the whole Drblack Robot thing just a random gag, or was there any context to that?
No, it's still up for debate whether he is actually a robot or not.
Oh, right.
There we go.
I prefer AAI, Advanced Artificial Intelligence.
Obviously, Turkey 101's the fuel source. Like a...
My circuitry processes lots of various alcohols in different forms.
June,
And-
the dry red. That's another...
They can be a very adequate fuel source.
What? Why are you saying ouch, 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 Punchy?
She just kicked her toe, and instead of saying it out loud, it was more of a release to type multiple letters.
Maybe Punchy's a robot.
How are you, Total Tropicals?
G'day. We're going to have a race, Total Tropicals. If you come down here first, or if I go up there first.
I don't think Victoria won't be letting anyone in forever, will they?
Nah, probably not.
We're going backwards. Just so. 2020.
Just end it. Just end it.
Dislike button. Unsubscribe to 2020. Far out.
Hit that thumbs down.
Actually, Charlie, my nearly 4-year-old, he must be getting into a bit of YouTube because this morning he was playing with some food coloring without me knowing, and he just painted the whole bathroom with red food coloring, which was really fun to clean up. And I just was standing at the door like this, like, what have you done? Like, there goes the next 2 hours of my life. And he goes, "That's a big thumbs down, Dad." I said, "Yes, bud, that's a big thumbs down."
That's awesome. So Pam was not going to stream, so she's not streaming. And it was us stepping on her toes.
Oh, right.
First, cichlids think you should all fly over and help StreamYard stop friggin' moving the chat when I start reading something. Help get the new fish room done. Plenty of good content there for you. If we came over, we would have to self-quarantine for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And in that 2 weeks, you should have finished your fish room. Just saying. Bodgy, did I say hello? Because if I did, I didn't mean it. No, I didn't.
It's a good thing everybody is quarantined. Get off the roads. Looks like Bodgy's got a certain L plates happening.
Oh, no. Did you know I began driving? Got 3 hours so far.
3 hours, 3 DOAs.
What's that? Only 127 to go. Is it 130 down there?
I think it's like, I thought that it was 250 or something. 120. I can't remember. Lots more.
Probably should be for Bodgy. They should double it up for him.
Fish keeping Jamaica. I hope this means what I think it means in a positive way. But Kayla, big up yourself.
Certainly means something very different down here, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Oh God. Oh.
Yeah, I think big up means I'm doing well, like I'm good. Big up.
Yeah, I assume so. Or
Respect
it's
to your brother. That sort of thing.
when you go to McDonald's, instead of getting the medium, you get the big up.
The big up.
Pam working on some commission artwork. I'm very curious. Well, that'd be good.
Might be a subtle hint.
Glass fish tanks. We don't have hours. Only has 6 months. Don't have hours. Like, how long have you had your L's for? 6 months. How many times have you been driving? Oh, once. Like, here you go. Welcome
I
to a
started the car, bro, in the driveway. Put the key in the ignition one time.
I had a mate of mine when he was back in the olden days, because I am such an old fella now. The driving test was actually done by the police in my town, not by the motor registry or anything. And they did it in your own car, obviously. And old mate's got into the car. I don't know if I can do this with as much camera, but he's got into his car, put one hand on the seat behind the copper, one foot up on his console beside the gear stick, and said, "Right, hey, where are we going?" And the cop pointed out the door and said, "Get out." He failed his first driving test without even turning the car on.
Bodgy, I pride myself in being a quick learner. My driving instructor was like, "We're only on lesson 3, but you can already drive comfortably on the freeway. Good job." My sat nav says that to me as well when I get on the freeway.
Good job you didn't die.
Why do they keep changing instructors though? You're like, not going back there.
We're only on lesson 3. This is the 3rd instructor. We've had 2 heart attacks.
It sounds like you're getting taught how to drive by an audiobook. Lesson 3. You can drive on the freeway.
In 300 meters, avoid pedestrian and veer off footpath.
Return to the road as soon as possible.
Recalculating. Depart. Nearby river system. Recalculating.
Float east for 400 meters.
Call 000 immediately.
Oh, wow. Did a skid. Oh,
Lefty, we must have graduated at the same time. 10 years.
I think it took Lefty 7 years to finish year 12, though. So, hey! I know what a road is. Just thinking Krusty the Clown there.
Hey! Yeah, you do it pretty good. I thought you did.
Can you guys all test your American or Canadian accents?
I only do
Canadian
Minnesota, eh?
Do it again.
Let's go get some bacon, eh?
I don't know the difference between Canadian and American accent. I mean, I can tell the difference when people talk, but you just say "a" every second, don't you?
Bacon, eh? Or as you call it, ham. Go get the Mounties. Hey.
It's cold, hey? Cold. It's been a cold one here in Minnesota. I still did hear in Australian accent, didn't I? We got some work to do, people.
I usually just default to like the Instagram girl from California, like, oh my god, like I cannot even believe it, like the Jimmy Fallon, like,
Oh,
I can't believe the police just gave me a ticket.
they talk like educated pirates. Get your pirate nonsense out of here, Podgy. What's the best beer here? VB, Vic Bitter, is my favorite. No, there's a lot. Oh, there's so many types of beers now, all the microbreweries and stuff. But VB is probably the biggest seller, or 4X.
Yeah, state by state it varies. If you're in the top end, it's like Great Northern or 4X. You got Vic Bitter down here. Emu Bitter. What's the other one?
Export is in WA.
What's the South Australian one? That one's weird too.
Coopers,
yeah. Interesting fact, the largest brewing company in Australia, which is CUB, Carlton United Breweries, sold last year to Asahi, so is now owned by Japan. This doesn't feel very Australian anymore. All the good Aussie beers are owned, well, down here.
Stick to Lion Nathan products then. I think they're owned by an English company, aren't they?
Always acclimate your fish first.
Good call, Harry.
Get to bed, Harry. It's past your bedtime.
Harry must have just scored a goal.
What are you doing?
Southern accent. I need to know like a Southern actor to be able to copy it.
Get off. He's planning something. Oh, thirsty. Hello.
Okay,
How you doing?
West End. That's what I was thinking of. West End.
Isn't that a Pet Shop Boys song?
I don't know.
Who are the Pet Shop Boys?
I go to a lot of pet shops, and I'm a boy.
Oh,
I was just thinking it sort of applies to us. Every time I think of something.
Wait, didn't they come out of one of the other bands, like 70s or 80s band that split up, and one dude from the band went and formed another band, and the other guys were the Pet Shop Boys.
Not
Joy
Devo.
Division. Weren't they from Joy Division?
Really?
I could be wrong. I could be confusing my going solos.
Oh, Monica Lynn's dropping in. Rescuing
G'day, Mon.
Proventus. 16 of. Have
Yeah,
fun.
Nathan's talking about West Ends being in a red can. They call them Red Tins or Red Death. Same with, have you ever heard nicknames for VB, like Green Demons or Grenades?
Yeah, the Grenade.
Go have a few grenades.
Victor Bravos.
Yeah, that's a good one. A couple of the very best.
There's Streetwise. Blake is Flock of Seagulls. Like he's just had. I'm there with you right now, Streetwise. You had that moment. Oh, that's who it is. He's a flock of seagulls. Haha. I'm Zach Galifianakis, and you're a flock of seagulls.
Who's Flock of Seagulls? I don't understand that.
And I ran. Is it that song?
Yeah, that's it. Check him out. Google.
The
Flock of
only
Seagulls.
thing I know about seagulls is that that Yoda one where it's like, seagulls,
Stop
open
it.
my eyes.
There goes the copyright.
Speaking of Yoda, has anyone watched the Clone Wars right the way through? I actually finished season 7 last night. It's so fantastic.
The robots talking about the robot shows.
So good. New Order, that's it, GRB. Thank you. New Order was the band that dispersed to become the Pet Shop Boys, and
Oh, I can
think
see
one
that
of
now.
them
New Order's
somewhere else.
How does it feel? That's New Order, isn't it?
To treat me like you do. I see a ship in the harbor. I can and shall obey. Yes.
Kick on.
Hey.
Speaking of your misfortune.
Oh,
Aussie
I-
accents versus the US. I don't think so.
nah.
Nah. We do have a few. Like,
There you go. You got one at the bottom of the country, one near the top. Both go nah at the same time.
There's less than 30 million of us, and there's bloody 300 million of you over there. So you're all trying to be different to one another. We just don't care.
yeah.
But there is variety, most definitely.
But Tasmanians have two heads, so that's the only weird thing that's a bit different. I need a hamburger. Me too, Dragon Lair.
Oh, that'd be good. Can I have bacon and eggs on mine? Because it still feels like breakfast to me.
That's what I did. That's what I made for breakfast for Mum and everyone. Bacon and egg with a garlic and rosemary focaccia.
Oh, watch out.
Pasco
Get the focaccia out of here with that fanciness.
and some ketchup. Oh, some dead horse. That's what we call ketchup down here, dead horse. Words mean different things in different spots. That's correct.
Oh, absolutely. The ABC radio has been doing a bit on that each week on one of the afternoon programs where they get people to ring in with their local dialecticals and stuff.
How cool. Oh, no, it doesn't make any sense. Yeah, any standouts?
Well, someone did it. The power pole one. I think it was Nath Fishboys used the South Australian term for a power pole or telegraph pole. We call them. Now I can't remember. Nath will have to remind me what they call them in South Australia. Stogue something.
Oh, yeah. Stogie. No, that's a cigar.
I went and played golf the other day, and I said, "Do I have to pay extra for the buggy?" And they're like, "What's a buggy? You mean the
Cart.
Yeah, not a golf cart. The one you put your golf bag on and you can wheel it around.
Trolley.
Yeah, trolley. And there's another one, and they were saying, yeah, in Queensland they call them this, and everywhere, and they're like, oh, buggy actually makes sense. And I'm like, I've always thought they were called a buggy, and I've never had to pay for one. So now I'm not liking how this conversation is going. That was $6 for a buggy.
Schnitty. Good old Schnitty.
Stovey pole. That was it, Nath. Yeah.
Nitty burger. Boom.
Like the other thing, this is a WA thing. Like if you say something is like a really good song and they're called darty beats, like what the hell's a darty? That's not a word.
That's new. Not heard that one.
Gonna listen to some darty beats. No, you're not. You're not.
Oh, there was some trying to put it in context. There was an interview on the news. I think someone helped someone. I don't know, they had a car accident or something, and the guy's gone and helped him, and then they've gone up to the guy who helped the other person and said, "So what happened?" And he's like, "Oh, I just deleted my milkshake and burger, and then I went over there and did, helped him out and stuff." And they're like, "What did he just say?" He said he deleted it. So instead of saying I smashed a burger and a shake, I deleted a burger and a shake, and I was like, "What? Is that a new thing?"
Where's that from? Where's that?
Yeah, Melbourne.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it's a generational thing, I think.
I was thinking WA again because doesn't Rumble often say like, "I'll delete this bit of wood" or "I'll delete this." We deleted this light or something.
I don't know. Thirsty Rabbit, pie equals dog's eye, and pie equals mystery bag. Mystery bag. Oh, that's because we don't know what's in them.
I actually like that though. Mystery bag. But
Mystery bag
Nate, Darty to me seems like a UK thing. Like, you're
Yeah, it
right.
does.
Like,
It sounds
going
cockney.
down Darty Lane, top of the morning.
She's a darty lass,
Here we
isn't
go.
she?
Yeah.
You ready for the
She's
thumbs
right,
down?
Darty, isn't it?
Oh, if you haven't, oh, there we go. I was about to say, if you haven't hit the like button, we're one away from 50. But yeah,
Must
now
be
I
an
see
old
Harry
hazmat.
watching us here, and the thumbs down is gonna come any second. Oh God, there it is.
Pigsy, is not a dog treat. Is
Thanks, Harry.
the pig's ear a beer?
Amy's asking if anybody can see her, so I think that means that at least I can.
Yep.
Well, I mean, I can see your words. I can't see you personally, but I see the letters that you type.
Oh, there's a bunch of Harrys now. Oh,
It's definitely a roundabout, and we do have U-turns as well. Language is so funny.
how's your bum for grubs? What?
Yeah, I wouldn't be concerned about anyone's bum. Thanks.
Do you not have that one in Victoria? That one's,
No.
that one's pretty popular up here too.
Oh, I've got actually a very localized thing that my wife. So you know slaters, like the little bugs, like
Boatmen.
What do you call them?
Boatmen, they're the ones that look like a little oval shape with two legs, yeah?
Yeah, they're in A Bug's Life, the cartoon, and they're like the little trapeze guys.
Oh, no, I'm different then.
So they're like a thing, and they roll up into a bowl.
Oh, yeah, right.
Slater, and then apparently in northern suburbs of Melbourne, they're called butchie boys.
Yeah,
I'm
we
like,
call them butchie boys.
ugh, that's so terrible. They're called slaters or roly polies, guys. Get with it.
Well, there was who was the
I'll dislike more.
was it? I think it was.
Failed as a parent.
It might have been the Life in Jars guy did one on your roly polies, and he went through this mammoth list of all the different names for them, and it just went for ages because he's rattling off all the different localized names from around the world for them.
Yeah, a pill bug. I don't know about pill bugs. Oh yes, we got some support for roly polies. I'll be able to show my wife this and laugh hysterically.
There's a good Aussie beer as well.
You're sponsored by Bud, aren't you? You've got the mat and everything.
Yep.
You want more? I'll give you more.
I think I got to go.
He's lapping it up, isn't he?
Another one for the butchie boy. Bodgy, I knew you were on the dark side.
Never.
Is there anything you guys want to talk about before I go and take care of that child?
Potentially, I'd like to raise the issues of Ritalin use in young children. I'm against it, very much against it. Nothing that stern discipline and a healthy diet can't fix.
Oh, God. All right. So tomorrow we have Blake's Aquatics at 8 a.m.
Aye, laddie. To be a right early morning.
So that's Sunday night for you guys and Drblack. What is going on? He's a robot. He's growing hair as we speak.
I'm cultivating it, not growing it. There's a difference.
It is right in the morning.
Pill bugs.
Yes.
Lots of people say they're pill bugs. Interesting.
All right, cool. It's been a blast. Heaps of fun hanging out with everybody here. Thank you for stopping in. Thank you to Priscilla and Dan, new members. Appreciate it. Spot Caleb for the super sticker.
You should quickly get some cling film across the doorway and then he'll run.
God. All right. Thank you, everybody. Have a awesome weekend. Have a great night, great day, wherever you are. And then,
We should not.
man, okay, he's not going to. I can tell you that. No.
I mean, basically, what he's saying is, Josh, that you need to step aside and let him sit in that seat and host this thing.
I think that that wouldn't go down very well.
It might go good for about 17 or 19 seconds.
That's about it.
Do a little bug poop dance.
All right. Thank you, everybody. We'll see you again real soon.